So I made a video earlier this year talking about listing all of the reasons why I purchased the Sony NX800 and how it will help my business. And one of the reasons that I listed on there was for doing live streaming. Now, I've yet to post a video on my blog here about working any particular live streaming events because I only started posting these vlogs last summer. And I haven't done a live streaming event in the past year. The last one I did was in, I think, June of 2024, which was right before I started the vlogs here on the channel. And I've did a handful of live streaming stuff for other places. I did some for my wife when she was the library director at the FBCC library. So it's been a minute since I've done any live streaming stuff. So I'm excited to bring you along today to show you kind of my process for how I do small live streaming events. I don't do anything really big, but I have invested in certain equipment or pieces of gear that have allowed me to conduct these, sort of smaller live streaming events where the venues might be small, but the clients need, one, good visuals, but two, more importantly, good audio. That'll make or break a live stream. So I'm doing an event over in Wolf Point at the Roosevelt County Library. They're doing an author event with the author Chris Latreille. He'll be talking about his new book, Becoming Little Shell, and also do a Q&A afterwards. So the event isn't too long, but what the client is looking for is they want just to be able to stream it live on Facebook. So I'll do like a 2-camera setup. I have some microphones, mic stands. I have a smaller PA system that I invested in over a year ago. So this is a lot of stuff that I haven't even talked about on the channel just because I haven't done it yet. So, but we're heading over to Wolf Point right now. I just got an email from the client just like a few minutes ago saying, now we might not live stream it, we might just record it. But so we'll see what's going on. I'll figure it out. But either way, I believe the setup will probably be the same.
I brought the film cart with me. Actually, this just lives in the back of my pickup. I don't really have a place to store it. And I keep the wheels on it just so it's easier and quicker to set up. It helps me make less trips taking all of my gear in. But in this instance, it's going to double as a battle station for the evening. My base of operation will be right here on the cart. And here's a look at the venue where the event is going to be taking place. Now, I want to walk you through what this setup looks like. It can be kind of confusing, so I'm going to do it with some visuals. Everything is eventually going to make its way to my MacBook Pro. So I'm going with a 2-camera setup. Camera 1 is the Sony NX800, and camera 2 is going to be the FX6. And now these are wired through HDMI to the ATEM Mini Pro, which is then connected via USB-C to my MacBook. And the ATEM allows me, with the press of a button, to switch between camera angles seamlessly. Next, I want to break down the audio setup. I have a small PA system I bought last year. I think it was like $700-800. It's a JBL EON 208P, and it comes with 2 speakers as well as a mixer. So I set up the speakers where they need to be, and then I connect the speakers to the mixer. And I also use a wireless mic system in which I connect the mic receiver to one of the channels on the mixer. I also take the output channels on the receiver using XLR cables, and I connect those to 2 separate channels on the Rodecaster Duo. I then connect the Rodecaster Duo to my MacBook using USB-C, and now I have both video and audio sources coming directly into my laptop. And the software I'm using to stream all of this is OBS. I like OBS because it's free and it does what I need it to do. So when the presenter is speaking, the feed from the mic is going out through the speakers, but it's also being routed to the computer into the software. And that's how I set up my stream. I know it looks nice and pretty on here. It's actually really messy in real life. And while I was setting up, I had to keep referencing old pictures I took of previous live streams that I had done, just to remember how I had things set up. And here's a peek at what it looks like all put together. It's a lot messier than the diagram I made. Also, when I bought my cart last year, I went with the option where one of the side rails can fold down, which makes it easier to use my laptop. So that's kind of neat. And then we ended up not even live streaming the event. The client just wanted it recorded instead. So I gave them the option. I could either record everything straight to camera, but then I'd have to take it home and upload it to the computer, do some slight editing, switch up the camera angles here and there, but then I'd have to charge them for a day of editing. Or I could proceed like we were going to do a live stream, and I could just record everything straight to my computer in one take and basically hand it over to them. And they opted for the latter. And I was a little bummed that it wasn't going to be streamed, because I prepared, these pre-roll graphics that way we could go live about 10 to 15 minutes before, and people could kind of, wait for it to start. But while they were waiting, they could have something to watch. In this case, it was some info on the speaker and the event. All in all, I was there for about maybe 4 hours, with over half of that being for setup and tear down. You know how it is. And so I started getting into doing live stream stuff a couple years ago. Where I live on the Fort Peck reservation, we have our own tribal government, which means we have elected officials, and we hold elections every 2 years for these officials. And sometimes different organizations or groups will host candidate forums or things like that. And of course, everybody wants these streamed on Facebook. And so 2 years ago, my wife was kind of helping with an education-centered forum and asked if I could help. I didn't have all the equipment at the time to do it. So, I spent the money to buy all of the equipment, and I did the event for free in hopes that maybe people would notice and, maybe ask me to do live streams in the future. And so I have been paid a few times in the last couple of years to do, like I said, just simple basic live streams. It's not something that I really advertise as something I do, just because I don't want to really invest in this, or I don't want to do these big elaborate setups, because, you got to spend a lot of money to do that. And they can also be very stressful. Even doing these small ones, man, I'm going right up until the last minute to when we're supposed to be going live, and it can be kind of stressful. So I only do it on occasion, at these small events where, there's not too much pressure. If you have any questions about anything, let me know in the comments. And that's it for this one. I will see you in the next vlog. Peace.